Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome again to my podcast, Snacks Thoughts. I say again, welcome to my podcast, Snacks Thoughts. And what is my thought for this Friday? Well, I was thinking about Japan's population decline. And they had a period where I believe for 90 days straight, they didn't have a single birth, 90 days, and also adding to that, they have an aging population, and currently in Japan now, diapers or Pampers, for aging adults or elderly adults are outselling it for infants. And I'm going to say that again. Diapers for elderly adults are now outselling diapers and Pampers for infants. And that's due to the low birth rates that's going on in Japan right now. And I had alluded, or made other videos about this where there's a movement going on, and I said it before. It's called the herbivore men. And for those of you that don't know what the herbivore men is, it's the equivalent to what's known in the West or in the United States, Canada, Australia, as it's like MGTOW, or men going their own way. So if you guys, I'm quite sure you guys may have heard the term before, heard about it. But basically, similar to what's going on here in the West, the guys in Japan claim that they don't want to be company men anymore because the hours are way too long, and marriage is expensive. And I was stationed in Japan twice, so I've done 2 tours in Japan, and I have to be honest, Japan is very very expensive. I would probably put it on par with places like Hawaii, Alaska. Definitely, it would be up there with probably San Francisco, Los Angeles, and different other cities in California, or it may be, I think Tokyo might be a bit more expensive than New York, but there's other places in Japan. But Japan as a whole, even in the other cities besides Tokyo, it is very expensive to live. And so a lot of the Japanese guys, they don't want to work for the company anymore because they work very long hours, and the company expects them to be loyal. And then also, when you are a company man, if the big bosses decide that they want to go out for, say, a business dinner or a business lunch, but I'll say a business dinner, and say you have a family, at home, that company man is expected to follow suit and go with the big bosses. And I think they may get a corporate credit card, or they may have to use their own credit cards, to pay for whatever drinks, and entertainment. That's if the big bosses don't pay for it. But I guess these guys are tired of the traditional way of doing things, but mostly it's because it's too expensive, as an individual or a single person, for men and women both. And then also to have a family is extremely costly in Japan. And then some of the guys are, tired of, maybe they work hard, and traditionally they would give the paycheck to the wife, and she will distribute an allowance or, whatever the husband needs. And then the rest has to take care of the bills, for the household, and maybe put money away, and he gets, what's left over. So these guys, I guess they're tired of being wore out. I'm not exactly sure as to all of it, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Cost of living is up, and they kind of want maybe a bit more flexibility, and higher pay. you know, and I've seen like some documentaries, and I've been over there in Japan, like I said twice, so I get a chance to talk to people, but they said it's just extremely expensive, and the wages are not keeping up with the cost of living, you know. And so these guys, and understand one thing about Asia culture and their mindset is different, say, from the West, or say, especially in America. In America, we are more individually minded. So we all think, you know, as an individual and move, so to speak, individually, you know, in our capitalist society. Whereas in Asia, you know, in societies like Japan, Korea, China, you know, and there's other countries on the Asian continent, but generally speaking, rule of thumb, they tend to think more as a group. So, and the older person has rank or seniority. So, if the older person, you know, which has a certain level of respect or seniority, thinks that, say, maybe a certain idea or way of doing things is a good idea, normally what will happen is that the others they'll get behind it and get on board, even if they don't necessarily individually agree. If it's a fairly good idea, they'll all, you know, go in together, you know, on it. So they kind of move in unison. Now, that's not in every case, because people are still people and they're individuals like anybody else. But I'm just giving you a general rule of thumb. So, you know, but that's how they tend to function. You know what I'm saying? They move a bit more. If an ideal is adopted, then they more or less adopt it as a group. You know, and so that's why this herbivore movement with these guys, it can have a significant impact in their society, because they're more like groupthink, or they adopt a concept and, you know, in mass they get on board with it. Whereas in the United States, it would be a bit harder to mobilize people like that, because we're raised up in a different culture where we're taught that we're an individual, and, you know, we think, you know, individually, and it's based in the United States, it's go for what you know. Whereas Asia, it's a bit, even though there's still independent mindsets and ways of thinking, culturally they still tend to, on certain things, move together as a group. But what's happened is that by the men and women not coming together in Japan, they have a significant, you know, elderly population, you know, that is growing, you know. And so Japan is, you know, highly concerned and worried about their population decline, you know, and especially at the current rate that they're going, they don't have replaceable numbers. And so they're trying to figure out, you know, I'm talking about the government is trying to figure out what do they need to do to get these men and women together, and in particular to get these guys, you know, to get involved, you know, with the women, and also to get them involved, get them to marry, you know. But the guys said they're not going to do it, you know, unless, you know, there's got to be some change where wages must go up to meet the demand of cost of living, and which I understand that. You know, I understand that. But yes, this herbivore movement, I guess these guys have they've had have had enough, you know, and they're not willing to so to speak sacrifice themselves or put themselves, you know, on the line to carry a society forward, but they don't feel that they're getting any benefit out of it, and they're just tired of being overworked and underpaid. You know, so that's pretty much what's going on in their society, and it's begun to become really rampant and spread, and it's getting to a point where the situation is starting to get out of control, because you can't force men and women to reproduce. You can't make them come together, you know what I'm saying, and have babies, you know. But yes, the herbivore men, I guess you could say it's Japanese MGTOW men, going their own way. And some of these guys, like they are here in the States, they're dipping out of the labor force. And you need the youth. You know, you always need the youth because the youth is the future. You know, but they can't get these guys to budge. So I guess the Japanese, the equivalent of whatever their labor department is going to have to figure something out and going to have to start increasing the wages and maybe setting different types of work schedules, maybe offering them more flexibility, you know, and you're going to have to give them some type of incentive or offers in order to entice these guys to take the jobs. So that way their society doesn't stall. Because if you don't, if your society starts to stall, then basically, and you don't produce offspring, then what happens is that you will have a societal collapse, you know, from the interior. You have to have people producing for the next generation. And also you have to have people that are working and paying into social systems and programs and paying taxes, municipal taxes. I mean, all of this stuff, you know, pension funds, you know, else your society, it'll collapse. And you can't have an extremely large welfare state. You got to remember, Japan, I know it's got triple digits in the millions of people, but they live in a country that is a little bit bigger than the state of California. And that's a lot of people. So you can't have a large welfare state in any society because it can't be sustained. You know, it can't be sustained. But more to come, guys. But yes, the herbivore men, I guess they are beginning to have a significant impact on their society. And I guess some of them are saying that I guess maybe, you know, the ladies, you know, are kind of like somewhat on, you know, with maybe their feminist movement where they feel they have their degrees and they're making their money. And I guess maybe they, you know, maybe want a high value man or whatever like that, you know. So it's some of the same stuff that's going on here in the West. But yes, the herbivore men, the equivalent of what is known in the West as MGTOW, men going their own way. So this thing is spread, and governments and the corporations are trying to put their heads together and figure out what it is that they can do. But yes, 90 days, you know, without a single birth, that's serious, you know. But more to come, guys, you know. But thanks for listening, and thanks to all my followers and subscribers. I really appreciate it. And the name of this podcast is Snackz Thoughts, SnackzThoughtS. And you can find this podcast on Spotify, Spreaker, Acast, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Radio PBM, and a host of other social media outlets. And I also have a YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube, EricBroadus YouTube, or EricBroadusYouTube.com. So please join Snackz Thoughts, and also go over to my YouTube channel and smash that bell to become a subscriber, and smash the like button to like the videos. Hit the unlike button if you don't like the videos. Either way, leave a comment. Leave a comment on Snackz Thoughts, and also leave a comment on the videos on my YouTube channel. You know, love to dialogue with you. Everyone has a right to their opinion, their perspective, and has a right to be heard. But here we go, guys. I guess these men are making their point, and don't think it's not going on in the West also. We're having a problem with population decline here also. So, hey, you know, go figure, guys. But that's all I have on this one. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend, guys. I got some more content coming out, military content coming out as well, guys. Be safe, all right? Peace. Catch you on the next one later.